My father found this old crane hook in a scrapyard and challenged me. Could I turn it into something truly shocking? I immediately fired up my charcoal forge and threw the hook into the fire. A few minutes later, it was glowing red hot, and I started straightening it with my hammer. Slowly, blow by blow, the hook began to open up. Once it was completely straight, I decided to flatten it. I kept hammering for quite a while until I forged it into a steel plate about 5 millimeters thick. I deliberately left the original ring at the end of the hook and flattened it slightly as well. I already had an interesting idea for that ring. Then I bent the forged steel slightly, and by the end of the day, this was the rough shape I had created. The next morning, I moved into the belt grinder room. First, I leveled both sides because the hammering had left the steel uneven. Then I refined the contours until the rough shape of the knife started to appear. Once the profile was complete, it became obvious what this knife was going to look like. There were a few areas the belt grinder couldn't reach, so I finished those details by hand with a file. I spent extra time refining the ring that originally belonged to the crane hook. I kept it intentionally because it would become a finger ring, allowing the knife to lock securely in my hand. Now it was time for the most important step: grinding the bevels. I spent nearly 3 hours shaping the bevels on the belt grinder until they were perfectly even. The bevels completely transformed the knife and gave it a unique appearance. Next, I sanded the blade to 150 grit on both sides. After that, I fired up my charcoal forge once again, heated the blade to approximately 850 degrees Celsius, and quickly quenched it in preheated engine oil. Now the steel was extremely hard and durable. Then came the longest finishing stage. I sanded the blade from 150 grit all the way to 2000 grit before polishing it to a mirror finish. Now it shines like glass. For the handle, I wrapped it tightly with strong camping cord and tied it securely at the end, so it would never come loose. Finally, I sharpened the blade to 4000 grit on the belt grinder. Now it's incredibly sharp. And this is the final result. If you think I completed this challenge, don't forget to subscribe to my channel.